everyone, it's Karen. I wanted to do my weekly wrap up today, but before I do that, I wanted to talk about like a new project basically that I'm gonna do. So I'm doing the Year of Reading One's Own, as you know, and that is going pretty well, much better than last time. I've only cheated and bought one book since this started. But basically I'm a teacher, so I have the next 2 weeks off. I am so excited, but I thought, like, what can I do with these 2 weeks? And so I kind of decided to do a Year of Reading One's Own sprint where I even eliminate library books for 2 weeks and I focus on reading only what I own, which hopefully will include some books that I get for Christmas. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, like a more serious, dedicated 2 weeks. Let's see how many books from my shelf I can get read. I think it will be amazing. So really quickly, I want to show you what I'm in the middle of reading right now, and then I will wrap up last week. So I am rereading I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou because I am just really hoping to be able to read her second book soon, and I wanted to reread this one. So I have read this before. I did love it, but I'm rereading it. And one thing that I found is really interesting is she is talking about pineapple in here at the part I'm at and how much she loves pineapple. I'm actually listening to the audiobook so I can hear it in her voice, which is amazing. But there's this amazing restaurant in Chicago called The Blue Door. I went there and they have, it's basically owned by, or it's their chef anyway, it might not be owned by him, but the chef is Oprah's former chef. And for Maya Angelou's 90th birthday, something, I'm not really sure, one of her big decade birthdays, this chef actually made her a cake. And I didn't realize that she loved pineapples so much, but it's like called a hummingbird cake, and it was the best cake I've ever had in my entire life. And so it was cool to hear more about like her experience of pineapples and her talking about the cakes that her mom would make when she was a child, because, you know, I've had that cake that was so special to her, and it was really cool to hear about it in this book. So anyway, I'm listening to this and I'm reading this. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I've heard this is amazing from so many people, and I just have tried and I cannot get into it. And I don't know what it is right now, but I'm in the perfect mood to read this and I'm enjoying it so much. Like, I'm looking for something right now that is light but also serious, and I feel like this is kind of fitting exactly what I need right now. Another book I can think of that has a similar tone is All Adults Here by Emma Straub. So if you haven't read that and you liked this book, definitely give that a go. I'm not very far into this book, so I don't know, maybe that's not the best recommendation, but so far it seems to kind of fit the tone and I'm really enjoying this one. All right, so now let's wrap up last week. I did not read very many books of my own. I only read three books total. 2 were my own. But I first want to share that I made a vegan chili recipe from this cookbook. It was amazing, but I definitely added too much spice. So my only tip would be actually measure the spice. Like, don't put in a heaping amount, but make sure it's level. That would make this recipe even better, because it was so spicy that I've been cutting it by putting it on top of rice and making it spread out more so it's not quite so spicy. And then also I will put it over rice, the chili, and then put some vegan sour cream or something, and that kind of cuts the spice a little bit. But it was really, really good, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, so for the books I read, I finished This Close to Okay, which I did a separate review on, and I loved this. This was also kind of that light but serious sort of read that I'm in the mood for right now, obviously. And it was about a therapist who's driving, and she sees this guy about to commit suicide. She talks to him and kind of talks him down from the bridge, and they end up becoming friends. She crosses boundaries by taking him to coffee and then inviting him over to her house. But this was amazing, and watch the separate review if you want to hear more. Then I read The 10,000 Doors of January, which it reminds me of, oh my gosh, I'm always forgetting the author. Anyway, let me just tell you other books that it reminds me of. It reminds me of like Inkheart and, oh, what is that book I'm trying to tell you? Erin Morgenstern's new book, The Starless Sea. It reminds me of that too. So if you like, you know, that kind of like mysterious book about books and magic and like magical realism sort of thing, you will definitely like this. Basically, this girl is living with this rich guy, and her dad apparently like goes traveling all the time and finds artifacts for this guy. He's kind of like an anthropologist sort of a character, and basically things start to go crazy. And yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's how much to say without giving too much away. But anyway, at one point, the main character, what is her name? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, January. Obviously, her name is January. She finds this book, and she kind of gets in trouble for having it, actually. And basically, it tells her of kind of what has been in a lot of books lately. I feel like these doors and people try and destroy the doors, and like there's all this mystery surrounding them. And yeah, it was really, really good. I liked it a lot better than The Starless Sea. Just saying. And then finally, I finished Beloved, which I read with Noelle, who has an Instagram page. She's not on YouTube, but she's amazing. So I will link to her Instagram below. And then Kim from, oh gosh, Middle of the Book March. She just changed her channel's name. And I liked this book. I thought it was very, very well done. Like it's obviously masterful. It was a very hard book for me to read. Like I felt so stupid the entire time that I was reading it, because I felt like I was really just getting a surface level of what was going on, when there was so much like deepness. That's not even a word. There's so much depth to get to in this book, and I was not accessing it. So it was really helpful to have Kim and Noelle like talking through this book with me. And yeah, it definitely was kind of a challenge for me. And I didn't think that, I don't know, I thought I was a pretty good reader, and then I read this and I was like, oh dang. But yeah, basically it's the story of a slave who escapes to freedom. And it's just, I don't know how much to say for this one either. It's her trying to survive in this world where her child that she lives with doesn't have the experience of slavery and doesn't really understand some of the ways that her mom acts as a result of, you know, the trauma of slavery and her life experiences. And there is kind of a ghost as well in this story, and there's love in this story, and there's a lot of flashbacks going back and forth between like the times in slavery and the situation now when they're out of slavery. My favorite characters were, I forgot his name, Stamped somebody, and who else did I love? Yeah, basically that was just my favorite character, I have to say. But yeah, anyway, definitely glad that I read this, because it is so hyped. Hyped is not even the right word for this, because it is a classic, and it's like, there's a legit reason why it's hyped, but I just feel like I didn't quite access everything without the help of my buddy readers, so I'm super, super, super grateful for them. So the next couple weeks, I will be trying to read as many books as I can from my bookshelf. I will be listening to audiobooks when I am doing things. I will be reading when I am not doing things, and it is going to be amazing. I hope you guys all have an amazing holiday season. Hanukkah is wrapping up, so if you celebrate that, I hope you had an amazing Hanukkah time. And Christmas is coming. If you celebrate that, I am way excited for that, and I hope you guys are doing well. Bye.